Okay, so good afternoon, good people. You found your way to this workshop called Building a Local Linux Audio Community. My name is Daniel Appelt. I'm from Germany, that's why the spelling of the name. You can call me Daniel, no problem, or Daniel. I'm member of the Open Source Audio Meeting in Cologne, which is a local meeting I will introduce to you in the following minutes, half an hour maybe, in order to show you how such meetings might be organized, why I think it's interesting and why I think it's working. Myself, I'm involved with Linux audio since around 2011. I used to produce music back on Windows some years before, and then at some point I switched to Linux, and I've been attending the Linux audio conferences since 2013, and I found out about the open source audio meeting in Cologne I think around 2015, and I'm attending the events since January last year. Myself, I'm an IT guy, so I didn't study sociology or something like that, but I'm also involved in other community projects, not tech related, in the area of Cologne, and well, I talked with the organizer of the open source audio meeting in Cologne whether we should maybe present something in order to inspire other people to maybe also start a local meeting. So to start, I would like to introduce you to the open source audio meeting in Cologne, what it's about. It's actually quite simple. It's a monthly gathering of audio and free software enthusiasts. We meet every third Wednesday in a month, so there's a fixed date, and the dates are already set at the beginning of the year, so you know in advance when the meeting will happen. The meetings were started by Nils Hilbricht. Maybe you know him. He was attending the conferences some years ago at least, so I've seen him or met him the first time at the conference. He's still organizing the event, so I'm not the organizer, I'm just giving you the presentation and the workshop. Well, let's see. First meeting was in June 2014, so the event already, or the events already have passed 2 years of existence, and they took place basically every month except for the December, because the third Wednesday in December is mostly around Christmas time. Usually there are between 5 to 10 people, so it's not a big meeting, but it's, if you go there you can expect to see like 4 faces and some familiar faces. There are some special occasions I will come to later where there might be more people, and the program or what's happening in every event is a result of a collaborative effort. So we use some tools in order to gather input from the community in order to decide what to do during the next meeting, basically. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and I'll be glad to answer them, hopefully. So the meeting takes place in Cologne. I guess you all know the city, it's in Germany. I'm coming from Bonn, which is near Cologne, like 30 kilometers away. I'm taking the train like every third Wednesday to Cologne in order to join the meeting. I think Cologne is a good place to start such a meeting, because you have lots of media industry, public broadcasting things going on in Cologne, and you have two universities in Cologne and University in Bonn, where they are also doing some audio stuff. So I think it's a good playground in order to set up such a meeting, but in general, if the city is large enough, I think you will find people who could be interested in a similar meeting. Regarding the organization of the meetings, we have kind of a fixed structure. So a framework of topics that we cover each meeting. I will come to that on the next slide. And well, for me, I would say it's a low-tech approach in order to incorporate community input before each event in order to find out what might be the things to talk about during the next meeting. So, well, we have a fixed date, like every third Wednesday. We have a fixed location, and we have kind of a fixed framework or agenda that we use for every meeting. And I think that's what you have. Those fixed things, and then you have the freedom to play inside that fixed structure and to just provide basically your input, what you want to do. And I think that's one good, it's good to have it like this, because for me, I don't have to think about the next meeting. I just know, okay, it's the third Wednesday in a week, Wednesday in a month, and mostly I'm playing around with my computer during the months and find out some interesting music-related stuff. I will just remember to put it somewhere and to bring it into the agenda at some point. And for me it's quite it's good to have such fixed dates, for example, because I can schedule everything else around it, basically. So, regarding the agenda, so we have like some topics that we cover in each meeting, and like I said, it's the input. So we have like the headlines for every topic, and we try to get input from people regarding the topics. Welcome round is quite easy. It's just saying hello and introducing people if there are new people. It's not so special, I guess, but it's important to get to know each other. Then we have a news section where you basically can put like releases of new software and such things. In the media, it's about books, magazines, interesting YouTube videos that you find. You can basically put it in a text document before the meeting, and then we either show around the magazine or watch the YouTube video maybe, or just say, okay, there's this cool video explaining all about the technicalities of how microphones are built, for example. And then next topic, flea market. So you can announce that you have a synthesizer to sell, and then maybe someone else will already before the meeting say, hey, I'm interested, so you bring along the big package. And talks and demos, that's the biggest section, where mostly we have one or two short talks, like 15 to 20 minutes, or demos of software or things that someone produced. And well, then question and answers, just a section where you can get feedback from other people regarding technical problems, maybe like how does something work in Arduino or something like that. And mostly it's so for me it's a good thing to have that last point, because sometimes I'm too lazy to write to the mailing list in order to get feedback. I just go, I know I will be there at the meeting I can ask a question, and mostly there's someone knowing how something works. And well, yeah, that's a nice thing to have. And that's basically how each meeting is structured. So you know in advance, okay, we have those topics, and maybe if you've been attending the meeting once, you know. So for me, it's like this. I've seen something like a new software release. I know, okay, I put it on the list, and we will talk about it, basically. Important for me, and maybe also for other people who are not living in Cologne, but who have to like take the train or something to get to Cologne, is that after the meeting, the actual meeting in a room, and talk about the software things maybe, we normally go to a pub nearby, which I noticed the few times that we didn't do it, I was like kind of not frustrated, but I thought, okay, I'm going home now. For me, it's important to have that last thing, just to have a beer afterwards, to talk maybe about other stuff, or just, yeah, go ahead with nerd talk. Okay. Regarding tools, it's about the tools that we use to collect the input from the community before each event. I told you, okay, we have that agenda, and we are trying to motivate people to give input for the next meeting. For that, we use an Etherpad document. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this tool. It's basically a text document where everyone can enter stuff. We have a fixed URL for the Etherpad, and it works quite well. So before each meeting, we take the empty agenda template, so like the 5 points that I showed you before, put it in that document, and then you just wait and hope that people will enter some stuff, and that mostly just works. The only, we didn't have any problems like with bots or something. That's a good thing, because I think it's not interesting to manipulate the document. It's just you provide maybe your. So we have also one section where you say, or where you can state that you come to the meeting. Maybe I will try to open it. Okay, yeah. Basically, it looks like this. I don't. Okay. I couldn't manage to get into the Wi-Fi with my laptop.
You have to reconnect, re-enter the password and
Oh, yeah. I have another means of doing it. Okay. So basically it's just a text document, and after each meeting we, or Niels, who's the organizer of the meeting, he just sets up that part, and okay, it's in German, so basically what we decided on, until someone shows up who says, okay, I don't understand what is written there, we just keep it in German. But basically you have the things that I gave you in the agenda. We have the news section, media, flea market, demos, answers and questions. And the last meeting took place yesterday. I didn't attend because I was on my way to the conference. But basically that's what people came up before the meeting what the talks or the meeting will be about. The meeting yesterday, and then on top we have a section where you can state, okay, I'm coming to the meeting, which is maybe nice to have to know, okay, there will be at least 3 other guys. It won't be me and someone else, but some people. So, until now we didn't have any problems doing it with this Etherpad. No spammers, no bots. Just one time, after I announced the workshop, suddenly everything was changed into English language, and I guess somebody opened the page with Google Translate plugin activated, and it automatically translated the page, and as it is editable, it just rewrote everything into English language. That was interesting, but you can go back in time, and it's not so complicated to set up the document itself because it doesn't contain so much. Anyway, this Etherpad document is also used during the meeting. So when we talk about things and somebody comes up with an interesting fact or another link, we just add it to the document during the meeting, and then after the meeting we take the document and put it into a page on a wiki. So we have a Doku wiki installation. It's a simple wiki, file-based. You don't need a database. And so basically you just copy the text document into a new wiki page, give it the title of the date of the meeting, and that's the archive of the meetings. You can also have a look at it later on, because I don't have the link here. But that's just the 2 tools that we use in order to organize the meeting. DokuWiki is also used as the homepage for the event. It just gives static information like where will the meeting take place, that the meeting is every 3rd Wednesday of a week, month, and that kind of thing. So it's very simple, not much maintenance efforts, and until now it worked really well in order to do the organization of the meeting. More complicated maybe is to find an actual physical space to meet. In Cologne, we are using the premises of the Chaos Computer Club Cologne, so they have rented like 3 rooms in the basement, and we can use one of their rooms for our meeting without paying anything, which is, well, it's good to have, it's nice. So I'm also involved in other community projects that I told you before, and in Germany and I guess in other places it's not so easy to find a space where you can just meet and without having any commercial interest. But, well, I know in Bonn places where you can do it, I know in Cologne, so I guess libraries, universities, schools, kindergarten, you just have to get in contact with people, and then I think it's possible to find a place to do the actual meeting. So we can meet in this room. I'm not sure if it's a room, but it looks very similar to this room. So just some sofas, a table. Okay, Chaos Computer Club, they have Wi-Fi installation and the sound system, so everything that you need. Other places, okay, sound maybe is the most complicated. Wi-Fi nowadays, you have in many spaces that you can meet. Interesting question for me, or I guess for the Chaos Computer Club, is what we yeah, what we can give back to the people renting the space. Until now, as far as I know, we didn't do so much. We didn't clean the toilets, or we just buy a beer sometimes and then you give a tip. But yeah, you have to think about it, and we should maybe do it. Until now, we didn't. How we can give back to Chaos Computer Club for them providing us with the space. Then, okay, we have had some highlights. We had like special events, mostly in November. In 2015, we had Luigi Verona visiting us. Unfortunately, that was at a point in time where I wasn't at the meeting, and he was providing talks, presenting his workflows, how he makes music, and there are recordings, so the slides will be online and you can take a look at the videos on YouTube. It was really interesting, and it was clear that he will be there and that he's going to give some talks, and it was announced in that way, and that's why I guess it was one of the meetings where more people attended. If I remember correctly, it was about 30 people, so yeah. If you have some special things, more people will show up, and it's yeah, it's good to have like once or twice a year some special stuff going on in order to also find new people or to attract new people. Last year it was more of a technical special feature. It was a meeting together with the Rust user group in Cologne. So Rust is programming language, and we teamed up and had talks about doing real-time audio programming in Rust. And yeah, it was definitely more technical, but still the two groups combined were like 20 people, I think. And yeah, some people from the Rust meeting always show up in our meeting, so there's some common, the people who are interested in both topics, so it was a good idea to have a combined meeting. Yeah, so getting towards the more challenging or interesting parts, how do we reach out to people? How do we announce the meetings? So I told you before, we have the DokuWiki installation, and we have that website. It exists, that's a good thing, and you find it on Google. But it looks like a regular DokuWiki page. It provides the most important information. Maybe it's not as attractive as it could be in order to attract non-technical people. Then we have a Facebook group, which works kind of. It's not much going on. The meetings are announced in the group. If you want to profit from the infrastructure that Facebook provides, you need to do promotion on Facebook, which we don't do. We just set up the meetings, but I guess it's not enough in order to attract new people. Then we have a meetup group. It's also like a social network thing, meetup.com. Actually, there are lots of people subscribed to the group, I guess. I'm not sure. Last time it was 50, I guess now it's more like in the 100. I have another meeting which I also organize via Meetup. General rule is, okay, if the topics are interesting to people, they will sign up, but it doesn't mean that they will show up. So from the 100 people who are subscribed, you are lucky to see 1 or 2 in real life. Anyway, it's a good tool to promote your meetings, and well, maybe we should need more promotion on Meetup. Maybe it would work better, I don't know. I guess for Meetup you have to pay, so you have to, well, if you pay anyway, then it makes sense to make the promotion on Meetup. Otherwise I would say, okay, maybe put the meeting on Meetup and after some time just use the Facebook group and try to register the domain so that there's no second meeting with the same name. But both tools are nice to have, but you have to, it's not that they work by themselves. You have to do something in order to attract people to show up at the meeting. Then there's a mailing list, which is, it's really small. It's just, you can just subscribe if you know, if you have met in person, because it's not announced on the website. But yeah, it's used to announce the meetings, and very rarely it's used for discussion, but it's there and it's nice to have. Okay, so basically that was how this meeting is organized, the open source audio meeting in Cologne. It's, like I said, it's working. Each meeting there are 5 to 10 people. For me it's always interesting. Of course, it's only as interesting as the topics you bring to the table yourself. But for me, it's in my calendar, and basically I don't miss any of the meetings except yesterday. But still, like, every now and then we think about, okay, how can we improve? What can we do in order to maybe attract different people? And yeah, basically that's for us that's the biggest challenge, because everything else kind of works quite well. And well, what we thought about, what we didn't do so much, where we can still, I think, try to find new members for the community is to announce the meetings at universities, like mailing lists or personal contacts. Personal contacts maybe is the best thing to find new people to join. There are, in Cologne and in Bonn nowadays, there are like modern studies going on. When I used to study in Bonn, it was just music and music history. Nowadays they have sound studies. And what I always said that I would do is to promote a meeting that people studying that thing. I didn't do it yet. But I have personal contacts, so I guess it's a good way to, on the one hand, to find people at universities maybe. Then startup communities are interesting because they are technical, and if you provide like a nice example of technical challenges, like I have another meeting which is called Creative Coding, and I always, in order to introduce this, I talk about live coding, and if I explain what's live coding, everyone's like, oh, interesting, I want to see it. I want to come to the meeting. So if you have like I've been to a co-working space lately. There were those people. They are basically just doing startups. Some were more technical oriented. Some were on the business side, like money, and then there were some artisty people. And when I brought up those examples, they were all like, "Oh, interesting. Maybe I will show up." So it's, I guess the people are there. They just need to. You have to find a trigger to catch them, to get to a meeting once or twice, and then maybe they like it and they come back. And then, of course, musicians. That's yeah, makes sense to address musicians. Maybe, yeah, either people who do recordings themselves or who are into electronic music, who are a little bit more into technical stuff, or who are not afraid of Linux, for example. Most prominent challenge, I would say, it's yeah, it has been a topic also at the Linux Audi conference, how to attract more female members, or how to get more female members. For now, I think it's basically it's the same. It's via personal contacts. Just find some interesting topics, and then also maybe not so technical topics. So the meeting in April in Cologne, we had a girl playing a wind controller, and she bought all the setup, like a box, which was a PC containing a pure data patch, and she was playing that thing, but she was in contact with Niels, who's organizing the meeting, and she was asking, is that would that meeting be interesting to me, because the minutes that we archived in the DocuWiki, they sound so technical. So yeah, you have to think about that. So to also provide like real life experiences which are not so technical, where maybe Linux or open source is also good at, in order to attract females, I would say. Otherwise, there are girls who are coding nowadays. So it's not just, yeah. I think the situation is improving with the new generations, but until now it's like, we are lucky if there's one girl appearing in the meeting. And, well, basically the last slide. The special event this November will be a weekend. 4th and 5th of November, called Sonoy Convention. It's, Sonoy is Esperanto and means sound, I think. So, if you are living near Cologne, or if you like to have something on a smaller scale, like Linux Audio Conference, and maybe not so technical, but more about how to actually do music, create music, maybe it's for you. And we have a website in place. You can register. It's the same as here. You just say, I want to attend. We will use the same rooms from the Chaos Computer Club. And depending on who will appear and if there are musicians or bands, we will set up like concerts in some bars around the spot. That's planned for November, and well, we hope that it will attract new people. And so far, it seems to, there are people registering, so don't be late. And well, that's it from my side. I can come to the discussion part, maybe. That was the photo taken yesterday. So yesterday there were 9 people, including me it would have been 10. And yeah, you notice the absence of females, but otherwise, yeah, I know 2/3 of the people I know, and it's always nice to meet each month and have some nerdy talks or demonstrate some music things. Okay, so question time.
Go for it. Actually, I wanted to get back to what you said about reaching a broader audience, because, so shameless plug, we have in Brussels meetings as well. So for anyone who's interested, if you happen to be in Brussels, it's every last Friday of the month. And there are places that are interested in stuff related to sounds or audiences that you didn't mention. Because our meetings, they take place in the library and have a program to help reduce the to help people get into technology, like people that are very disconnected with anything related to technology. So it's one of their mission is to help them like create email accounts and stuff like that. So very, very basic stuff. And so one of the cool things is that we reach that audience, and some of them, they come to our meetings. So that's very interesting, but in the same time, it's very difficult for us because you're not always prepared for the type of audience you could address. And I think that's something very important when you're trying to reach to a broader audience, to be aware that depending on who you're reaching for, you might bring people that might not fit with the agenda, the fixed agenda you have, or just the way that the meeting takes place. It goes the same for like musicians, people that are more into playing music than recording music or working with sounds, because as you guys, we have a very hard time to have actual musicians that would just like to maybe convert their home studio to Linux, despite the fact that we're actually between 10 to 20 people each meeting. Most of them are very non-technical person. And also a very interesting audience. There is a talk that will take place tomorrow about Radio Panic, which is a radio in Brussels. And actually most of the local radios in Brussels, there are to some extent some people from those radios that come to our meetings because they're interested in lowering the costs of running their businesses. So that's an interesting audience to address as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and you have to be careful to be welcoming to new people who are maybe who don't have the same background. It's with every meeting that you organize, be it like open source audio or something else, non-tech related.
Yeah.
And it's
Some of them actually are not even aware of the difference between MP3 or WAV, or just they're not technical at all. So yeah, that's something that's a bit challenging to work with.
Yeah, and you have also like an agenda, or do you have like a topic every meeting, or?
So what we have, we're 4 people that are organizing those meetings. One being the person that's working with the library, so he's the one in charge of the project. And since it's more or less every 4 weeks we have a meeting, 2 weeks after that, so in between every meeting, we have a small meeting, just the 4 of us, and we discuss possibilities. And during the meeting, we try to see if maybe people that are attending are interested in proposing something for the next meeting. So we have a core team that is organizing the thing, and then we try to bring people in without the hassle of organizing the actual agenda. Also, something I wanted to add. Sorry, we have something that we started very recently. So it was a bit chaotic up until very recently, but since we frozen a core team that is now pretty efficient, we started something that is working pretty well. People are very interested in that, and we have a sort of sound lab where we separated the space in two different spaces. One where it's more about talks and demos and just sharing information, and one where there is very little talking to no talking at all, actually, and just people making noises and sounds. Some of them are playing instruments, some of them are live coding. Yeah, that's very cool, and we record all that. So we have traces. That's very interesting.
But they are using headphones? Or
No. It's like a big impro.
Okay.
Like a big jam.
Okay, cool.
Have you ever done something like that? Or has the group ever done something?
So we have, like I said, we have this section demos and talks, and we had like live coding, somebody me showing some live coding, and someone else also. Sometimes it's more like fixed, so it's not going into the improvisation. But if you have a new version of a synthesizer plugin, we always have someone who has a MIDI keyboard, and then we try to jam a little, but it's not like real jamming with more than one person involved. Yeah.
And any experience with inviting, I don't know, maybe hardware synthesizer people or some other kind of demographic and work together with them to...
Actually, so the one interesting thing about Cologne is like the media or the broadcasting things going on. So we have one guy who's working for public broadcasting, who's doing sound stuff. And if you have any question regarding mixing and doing live shows with more than 60 channels, you can address him. Musicians, it's there. I think there are people doing music. So I'm also doing some music, but just in my bedroom. It's not that I'm live, doing so much live. Yeah, still people. So in Cologne there are many bands, and I guess there are many people. So and there's a big electronic scene. So there are definitely people who should be interested. You just have to connect, and that's what we didn't do until now. Okay. But yeah, I like what you said. You have the core team that meets before and thinks about what maybe the next meeting could be about. That's what we have that workflow, which is simple and it's basically always the same. But that's more what you do is more like the special events that we do once or twice a year, and it's important to have it, I would say, in order to attract new audiences. And then maybe in November we hope that some people will show their musical workflows and that we have some concerts. It's just, the organization for now it's Niels, one where the T is. He's doing the organization of the open source audio meeting, and for the convention he's right now also, I think, mainly the only organizer. The thing is, I'm interested in it, but I'm also involved in other community stuff, other non-tech related things, and I have to find the time, but I'm eager, so we'll see and we'll try to address musicians in Cologne and maybe from the Linux audio community, for example. So if you're interested, and if you want to share what you're doing on Linux or with open source or hardware synthesizers, you are more than welcome. I guess on the this Sonoy website, it has an email address, and you just send an email, I want to join, and that's it. So registration only, but admission free. Same as here. Any of you then attending any other meetings, like open source, audio, Linux?
Oh, no.
There isn't any in the vicinity, so like Cologne would be, I don't know, 3 hours drive or something.
Okay,
4
where are you
hours
from?
drive. Haarlem, basically Amsterdam.
So?
Basically Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
So in Brussels is also, well, it is doable.
No. We had some.
Not really a bike ride, right?
Yeah. So we were in contact with the University of Utrecht.
Yeah, Mark, right? Probably.
Yeah. And they wanted to show up for some meeting, but until now they didn't manage. But it's would be interesting. Then you, in order to get people to take the ride for some hours, you have to set up something special so that they can maybe present something.
You just had, I guess, kind of a similar situation as you did, where I believe they had 5 people every time, and the majority of them were the same people. So over the time, if I understood it correctly, they said, okay, well, this doesn't really make sense, or it's not enough for us to keep putting in the effort. So they stopped, as far as I understood it correctly.
Sorry, I didn't.
So the guys in Utrecht, so the ones you had
okay.
in touch with, they tried it, but there just wasn't not enough.
Actually,
Either they did not really enough people, or they were not enough.
Actually, I don't know whether they tried to implement the meeting themselves.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, once or twice, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but
it's hard to retry.
Yeah, you have to. So I have another meeting, the creative coding meeting in Bonn, and it's kind of interesting because the first meeting there were like 5 to 10 people. I don't know. I don't recall. Maybe 8. And then the following 3 or 4 months, it was 2, 3. It was just I was organizing the stuff. I was just thinking about what can I present, and there's enough stuff. That's not a problem, but it's still work to do, and it's easier if you have someone else joining the team. But then the last meeting I wanted to cancel because I had so many other stuff going on, and I cancelled it on Meetup. But anyway, I showed up at the place because I thought maybe you never know. And actually there were two guys who showed up because someone else put it in their calendar. So in this co-working space, they put the events in their calendar, and now we were just 3 people, and I told them, okay, just tell everybody, maybe people will be interested, and now for the next meeting it's already like 6 people signed up. So it's, you have to find the right link or the right people, and then at some point, if it's interesting enough, it will work. And it's the same with open source audio, Linux audio, I would say.
Do you have more girls in Brussels?
Actually, yeah, with
Okay, I'm going to Brussels.
it depends on. It's really it varies a lot. But I'd say maybe somewhere up to a third.
Yes.
A third, yeah. I
But
guess.
it was just not a joke. But when you have girls, do they play instruments or interested in computer?
Mostly musicians, yeah.
Mostly musicians.
Yeah. not very on the technical side. But then again, we don't have much people at our meetings that are knowledgeable about anything related to coding or. But so very recently we had a few people that are more into coding and the technical aspect that came. We had a presentation about live coding as well. But it's really it's very recent. It came when we started actually the whole Sound Lab thing, because we advertised that on the campus actually. So that was a good call as well.
So there were people showing up. You asked the people who come to the meetings how they.
So actually, what happened is a friend of one of the person who came told us about a presentation on the campus about live coding, and so one of the guy from the core team attended the presentation, and then he just advertised for shameless plug.
No,
Those works best.
That's definitely. Cool.
I was just wondering, do we know about other type of meeting like these ones from your areas or maybe from somewhere else? I don't know, like any type of metropoles in Europe. Are we aware of those type of meetings?
From time to time, there is in Bordeaux something about free software, but it's very, very spare. So yeah, it's not on a regular basis. So
Okay. Because actually, I was hoping that maybe if we. So obviously, I knew you had meetings, but that's the first time you explaining in depth about how it's working and everything. And actually, I would be very eager to hear about experiences from other user group like those. And I'm fairly sure if they were maybe more accessible through the usual media, we as the representatives of the audio Linux community, you know, people attending LAC or people that are subscribed on the Reddit subgroup or those type of places, if those groups were more accessible through those medium, maybe we could share more about do's and don'ts and whatever works.
Yeah, I only know about Berlin.
There is a group in Berlin.
Yeah, it's announced like now and then announced on the mailing list, the Linux audio mailing list, that there will be a meeting. I guess I didn't follow it exactly, but it seems to be regular. But well, I don't think they have a website, but I'm not sure. So you don't get more. So if you're an outsider, you don't know maybe that it's happening, except that maybe they promote it at the space where they meet, which is also the Chaos Computer Club in Berlin.
Oh yeah. Of course.
But otherwise, I also don't know other meetings. That's why that was my intention to show. Okay, maybe it's not so complicated to set up a meeting. Of course, it's like you have to put in some effort, but it's if you would implement it the way that we do it in Cologne, it's just needs to set up an Etherpad where we use just a free service. We can set it up. Okay, the DocuWiki, it's running on linuxaudio.org, I guess. But yeah, maybe you just need to ask the guy in charge, and then you can have brussels.linuxaudio.org.
Okay.
But besides that, it's just finding the room. But I think the setup is quite easy. So for other meetings that I organize, the non-technical ones, it's maybe the topics are more complicated, not technically wise, but from the content, it's more of a struggle, I would say. But that one, maybe because I'm not the organizer, it's for me it feels like, okay, you have the regular date, you have the regular agenda, you know where it is. It's just, okay, some days before I have some ideas, I put it on the user pad and then I just appear and it will be a nice evening basically. Okay, any more questions?
Do you know where people are actually finding out about your group? Is it mostly just on mailing lists, or is it a spread across all the different ways that you're trying to market it?
So I know myself. I'm not sure. Either it was meeting Niels in person at a Linux Audio conference, or I was searching for Linux Audio Cologne, something like that, and the website appeared on Google. We could definitely do much more. The other people who appear, I guess they find either about Meetup, because at Meetup they have your location, and you give them some information about your interests, and then groups will show up. And I guess that way it's easy to find, but as I said, it's not necessarily the people who show up who are signed up to Meetup. The other people, it's Case Computer Club, people who know the place, and yeah. Oh, isn't it the meeting for JavaScript something? Oh well, I stay. Yeah. We could definitely do more advertisement. I guess Google and Meetup, that's the two things. Maybe Facebook, but I'm not so sure. And now, well, now it's known everywhere, because everyone is following the video, maybe.
Already out of that.
Okay, cool. So, if there are no more questions, we can get back to the regular program, drinking beer.